I have the Commissioner Sherry Hawkins and Commissioner Rashad Parker, and they also going to be speaking on some of the things and giving a little history of Juneteenth and the commission that is charged to do Pacific's events in the community. If I would like to bring up Commissioner Rashad Parker, as he has another event that he needs to go to shortly after his presentation. So, Mr. Parker, you want to come up?
Okay. Thank you, Josie. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you, Sherry, for sharing space with us today here at the Downtown Presbyterian Church. First, I just want to say that I am familiar with the church. My little brother, daycare was here, and we used to come here every day and pick him up, as a matter of fact. And this church was quite gracious to my family, especially my mom being a single mom, raising two African-American boys, 9 years apart. And so I thank God for Downtown Presbyterian, because you guys kind of, saved me from being the 24-hour babysitter. So thank you for that. So as Josie said, I am Commissioner Rashad Parker. I have been a commissioner of the Greater Rochester MLK Commission since 2011. And my role has been basically the talent acquisition and making sure that we have talent at our events. And this year, no different. So I'm very proud to, be in that role and to really fill our events with wonderful talent here locally as well as nationally. I would like to begin really quick with the Black National Anthem. We're just going to sing one verse of that. I believe that song unifies us. And if you don't know the words, I have the words. I did print some out. Does anybody need the words? All right. Okay, there. Mm-hmm. And on the back of the Black National Anthem is the Nguzo Saba, which is the 7 principles in African American tradition. And we'll get into that a little later. Maybe one of my colleagues will go over that piece. But bear with me. I'm going to try to do this without any type of piano or tuning. So, God help me. All right. Awesome. Awesome. That is so cool. All right. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Here we go. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on to victory is won. Thank you, guys. You sound great. Awesome. Thank you so much. Indeed, indeed. So, I wanted to begin with that because, again, I believe song and music unifies us. Music is the universal language. Amen. And so the last stanza of this song says, facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. I thought that that was very appropriate for today and what it is that we are here as the Juneteenth Planning Committee to present to you all today. Let us march on until victory is won. And one of the things that we are doing this year being that it is the 60th anniversary of the 1964 uprising in Rochester, we have planned a rally on June 8th in the parking lot of Mount Vernon Baptist Church. So Mount Vernon Baptist Church at 351 Joseph Avenue really served as the backdrop to the civil rights movement here in Rochester, especially that uprising which began on Nassau Street right off of Joseph Avenue. From that rally, from the 1964 uprising in Rochester, so many other organizations came about as a result, like the Fight organization started by Minister Franklin Florence. In addition to the Fight organization, also the Urban League of Rochester, and there's another one, and Action for a Better Community, which we had the privilege of sharing space and collaborating with them on yesterday at their event at MLK Park, which is exactly where our Juneteenth celebration will be as well. And so I just wanted to preface with that because this rally is very important to unify the community, that we all have the opportunity to now stand in solidarity as we commemorate this really momentous event in our history. So on Saturday, June 8th, 2024 at 351 Joseph Avenue in the parking lot of Mount Vernon Baptist Church, we're going to start this rally with an introduction from the Juneteenth Committee, an opening prayer by the pastor of that church, Pastor Cedric L. Cooper, and then we will hear from about 11:30 to 12:45 community leaders address how the issues of our past affect our present with a call to action for a better future. As I said, let us march on until victory is won. It takes all of us to make that happen. Amen. We'll also have, if you guys have heard of Cinnamon Jones, she's an incredible vocalist. In fact, she shared the stage with Daniel Ponder at the Lilac Festival last Thursday. I was grateful to have heard them sing together. I thought that was just so beautiful. And also how Danielle gave accolades to her elders, right? Cinnamon served as a mentor to her and she gave her that shine. You know what I mean? And I just thought that was very beautiful. And they shared space on stage together and even sang together. Right. From there, we are going to walk to the Liberty Pole for a community photograph and then walk to the Little Theater, which is located at 240 East Avenue in Rochester, to watch the films July 64, which is an Emmy-nominated film directed by my college professor, Professor Carvin Eisen, who is still a very dear friend and mentor to me. And Black Lives Matter, Sanctuary for Daniel Prude, which documents the Black Lives Matter movement here in Rochester from August of 2020 up until about February of 2021, really documenting that momentous time in our history and those parallels. Right. And so after the film, we want to partner with local churches. And I would love it if Downtown Presbyterian could serve in this capacity. Just putting that out there. We are looking to partner with local churches to provide shuttle services for those individuals who have then walked from Mount Vernon Baptist Church all the way down to the Little Theater. It's not that far. It's really only like a mile and a quarter. But, having walked that far, right, we want to be able to be sensitive to the needs of our community and then provide shuttle services back to Mount Vernon Baptist Church. And we need all of you to make that happen. So thank you so much for allowing me to present with you all today. Thank you very much. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. And Sherry, can I just read that last part on the Juneteenth history? Yeah, I'm just gonna read just that part right there. Okay, I didn't know I was doing this part too, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna talk about this too. All right. So Juneteenth, while we here. Now am I just doing the history or just the festival? No, she's doing the history. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's Sherry Peace. Juneteenth is June 15th at Martin Luther King Jr. Park, right around the corner. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning with a parade, which is Josie's Peace, and it's always very well attended. It's an incredible representation of what solidarity solidarity and community looks like in the parade. All are welcome to join that. You guys have some information there. RochesterJuneteenth.com is a perfect way for you to sign up, is really the only way for you to sign up to march in the parade. In addition to the parade piece, we have an elder ceremony, which again is why I preface Lift Every Voice and Sing. And on the back of that, our elder ceremony is the Nguzo Saba, which is the 7 principles of African American culture and tradition. All right. And that will be from 11 a.m. to 12. It's a 1-hour program. And then from there, the festival itself begins again at Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Park, 353 Court Street in Rochester from 12 until 8 p.m. During the festival, we have a host of talent, again, locally and nationally, wonderful representation of vocalists, choirs. We got a gospel choir, Julius Dix and Baber AME Ensemble Choir, which is I'm a member of and where I'm going to after I leave here on my way to Baber. Also, Rock Music, which is a wonderful youth group of all musicians, live instruments, and they play everything. They are phenomenal. We had the pleasure of having them on our MLK celebration. The Greater Rochester MLK Commission also is the organization responsible for doing the annual King Day each and every year at Kodak Hall at Eastman. Hopefully some of you has all had an opportunity to come and celebrate with us during that time. If not, 2025 is our 40th anniversary, and I encourage you all to be there with us in fellowship. We will be honoring our dear Queen Mother, Dr. Iris Bannister, who, when I say her name out loud, I kind of get a little emotional, honestly. Because I didn't get a chance to go to her funeral services, and I was out of town and I missed it. But she was responsible for me responding to the clarion call that she had put forth. I mean, as a kid, I used to watch her like march, rain, snow, hail, or sleet, that parade for MLK. And I just was like enamored by her presence. And as an adult, she got up one year and invited, us to respond to the clarion call, because to whom much is given, much is required. And I answered that call in 2011, and I've been a commissioner ever since. So we will be honoring her this year. And so we also have, like I said, live instruments honoring Dr. Iris Bannister. We have Dunwoody Dance. We have Jermaine Barber, who is a wonderful praise and worship dancer. Some local bands that will be performing as well. A Few Bad Apples. If you guys know A Few Bad Apples, they perform on the jazz circuit, as a matter of fact, always a part of the jazz festival here. We got them too. And then our national artist being Seven Streeter, which is a national acclaimed recording artist who will be joining us. So a wonderful day of entertainment, of culture, of resources, and fun. And again, I thank you all for giving me the opportunity. I will end with this. The Juneteenth holiday is considered the longest running African-American holiday and has been called America's second Independence Day. Juneteenth falls on June 19 and has often been celebrated on the third Saturday in June. Historian Mitch Ketchum considers that celebrations of the end of slavery have 3 goals: to celebrate, to educate, and to agitate. Amen. Y'all be good.
Thank you, Rashad. Thank you so very much. As Rashad say, love it. Facing the rising sun of our new day. Every day is a new day begun. So we each have an opportunity to contribute to society and the things that we face on a daily basis. And he said, let us march on till not defeat, but until victory is won. And we are determined to have victory. I am Sherry Hawkins, and I am the 2024 Juneteenth coordinator for this year. And I am so honored and privileged that I know my Heavenly Father has given me this opportunity. I was talking to the gentleman and I said, Lord, why me? And he said, why not you? So I had to remember that everything that I do is not in my own strength, but it's in his strength. And I know that I can do all things through him who strengthens me. I wanted to talk about too, our theme this year, which is from 1964 to 2024, 60 years. Can you say 60 with me? That's a long time. 60 years in the fight for justice in Rochester. And that June 8th rally, that's what it's going to be all about. Just talking about the 60 years and talking about how we can move forward as a community as we win this victory. So my task is to talk about Juneteenth. Are you guys ready? So, and again, I want to thank Rashad Parker. I want to thank Josie, and I want to thank all of the other planning committee members of the Juneteenth, because it takes us. I cannot do this on my own. I need each part of the body in order to make it right. Also, I would like to, I just want to name a few, but I don't want to forget our great sponsors. We are in partnership with the Strong Museum of Play. Also, we're in partnership with the Monroe County, also the City of Rochester, also Excellus, Blue Cross Blue Shield, RG&E, Trillion Health, Common Ground, Wegmans, oh God, there's just so many. And we are very, very appreciative. I never want to not stand here and acknowledge all of our great sponsors. We have Virtuous School. We have just a bunch of them. So they are on our website at www.rochesterjuneteenth.com. And also you can get it through our other website, our commissioner website at www.grmlk.org. And that's also a plug-in for if you would like to give any donations or sponsorship or join the parade or volunteer on June 15th. So Juneteenth, officially Juneteenth National Independence Day, as Rashad said, is a federal holiday in the United States. Can we clap for that? Because we did a presentation at the Jewish Center during Martin Luther King during January. And this was their first year that they actually got a paid holiday off for Martin Luther King Day. And also they're gonna do the Juneteenth. So we wanted to celebrate that. And that was exciting for the employees. So Juneteenth, it is celebrated annually on June 19th to commemorate the ending of slavery. The holiday's name is a portmanteau of the words June and 19th, as it was on June 19th of 1865 when Major General Gordon Granger ordered the final enforcement of the Emancipation Proclamation in Texas at the end of the American Civil War. The early celebrations dated back to 1866, at first involving church-centered community gatherings in Texas. They spread across the South amongst newly freed African American slaves and their descendants, and became more commercialized in the 1920s and 1930s, often centering on a food festival. Participants in the Great Migration brought these celebrations to the rest of the country. During the civil rights movements of the 1960s, these celebrations were eclipsed by the nonviolent determination to achieve civil rights. But grew in popularity again in the 1970s with a focus on African American freedom and African American arts. And that's why we include in the Juneteenth Festival a lot of the arts. Beginning with Texas by proclamation in 1938 and by legislation in 1979, every U.S. state and the District of Columbia has formally recognized at this time the holiday in some way or another. Juneteenth is also celebrated by the Masgogos, and I hope I'm saying that right, descendants of Black Somalis who escaped from slavery in the 1852 and settled in Coahuila, Mexico. Now, the day was recognized as a federal holiday in 2021 when President Joe Biden signed the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act into law. Juneteenth became the first new federal holiday since Martin Luther King Jr. Day and was adopted in 1983. Early celebrations consisted of baseball, fishing, and rodeos. African Americans were often prohibited from using public facilities for their celebrations, so they were often held at churches or near water. Celebrations were characterized by elaborate large meals and people wearing their best clothing. It was common for formerly enslaved people and their descendants to make a pilgrimage to Galveston. As early festivals received news coverage, Janice Hum and Noah, I'm going to try to get this right, Arsenics, considered that they served to assimilate African American memories within the dominant American story. And I love that when they talked about the food and the festivities, because our very first Juneteenth was held at now what we call the Strong Museum of Play. And they had all of these foods that they talked about and the music and the art. So it was an awesome celebration. And at that time, Queen Mother Iris Bannister, who was my mom, my mentor, and my friend, she was all that in one. She was the one too, as Rashad say, that was responsible for me coming to the commission and also getting my master's in strategic leadership. So she was a woman to be honored. And now I'm going to give it to Josie to talk about also Juneteenth and also the parade that will be held. And if you have additional questions, we will be glad to answer them after Josie's done. So thank you again. We are looking forward to a great celebration. We are always excited because our whole community really embraces Juneteenth, and we are honored and celebrate each and every last one of you for being participants.
Well, hello again. Well, the favorite part of Juneteenth festival is the parade for me. I think the parade is a way that we can stand together, celebrate together, and the organizations that march in the parade gets to showcase who they are and just embrace the community. And I think that that's what Juneteenth really means to me. We all probably can express what Juneteenth means to us as individuals. But collectively, I think we all know that Juneteenth is a very important day for particularly African Americans, but we know that humanity doesn't have a color. And we just need to learn to embrace this and celebrate together. So parade. So the parade starts at 10 o'clock. And it's not a very long parade, but it's a very powerful parade. Right now, currently, I have 29 entries from schools, from organizations, from business owners. But most importantly, we have the Rochester Pride Marching Band. And these are students from various schools of the city of Rochester that plays in this band, and they are going to lead us off. And that to me is powerful because the youth are our future, and to see them come together and such a meaningful event is power on its own. So we will line up on Broad Street and Chestnut and proceed to make that right onto Chestnut to East Ave, make that right on East Ave to South Union, and make that right on South Union all the way down to, and now they named that street Venture Lane. And it ends at Strong, which the elder circle starts, and that will be at 11 o'clock. And that right there is very important because the community honors few of the seniors and or I should say older individuals in the community that have done some tremendous civil rights what am I trying to say? Work. And they have done some education with youth and just been powerful leaders in the community. And this is our time to give back to them their homage and give them the title as an elder or eldris. So, and then as said earlier, after that elder circle is completed, then the festivities will be in the MLK Park. And again, there's a host of things, but I just really more so, again, going back to all of you here in the audience and on Zoom, is to really sit back and to think and reflect on what Juneteenth means to you. And just really get into that history, because Rochester has a lot of history around racism, and we're going to be honest about that, about redlining, and 60 years is not long. I mean, I'm 56, so that's not too long. I don't consider myself old. So 60 years was not that long ago that riot in Rochester happened, that birthed this movement that is continued to this day. And I really don't want none of us to forget, but more so making sure that we teach the youth that history, because when you talk about the 7 principles of African American, the one that stands out to me is NIA. And if you look on the back of that paper, NIA means purpose. And when you think about purpose, we all got purpose on this earth, right? It's what we do with it is what really matters. So I look at purpose in Juneteenth as one of the same, because with purpose, you have that collectivity that Juneteenth is meant to bring, that unity. And again, so reading here on the paper, NIA, to make our collective vocation a building and developing of community in order to restore our people to the traditional greatness. And again, that is to restore what, as African Americans, was taken away from us, right? We can't go back and fix the past, but we sure can channel and encourage and develop and build relationships today that can go on forward. So 1964 to 2024, that theme is fight, 60 years in the fight for justice in Rochester. We have a lot of work to do. But this right here, asking us to come and present, is a start. And I really appreciate this to the bottom of my heart, that you guys really opened up your doors to have us come in and have this conversation. So I thank you. Are there any questions for us? Sure, absolutely.
Oh, no.
right now, we don't have a church van. So I wondered about underwriting like a van limo, if that would be something we might do, so, because we don't have a van. I know there's those limos that you can rent for weddings and wine tastings and all of that. And I'm thinking, I wondered if that would be something that we could do.
Any help,
Yeah, absolutely.
we will never say no to. So
Absolutely.
if that's something that you might want to consider, we will leave our information and you can reach out to us and we can talk about that, however that might be.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome.
Yes.
I'm thank you. I'm one of the members of the DEIB committee here. And I will make sure that that everyone else, I can share the information. But do you have a non-print, like, is it on your website or,
Mhm.
because that way I can just send it rather than, making a zillion copies.
I can send you the website, but yes, the
Yes.
website is www,
The
all-
Juneteenth.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
Rochester Juneteenth.
Mhm.
And all of the information is there. Also information for, as we said, sponsorship in any type of way. There's also our volunteer information on there, the parade entry. If you know of groups that may even want to join the parade, our vendoring, tabling opportunities, if there's someone who want to. We're also on the Chamber of Commerce, on their mailing. They sent that out for us to all of their participants. So, yep, that's it. And so you'll see,
Okay.
if you scroll down a little bit,
So if I just look up also Rochester.
I just wanted, that's where our sponsors are. So that's a lot of our sponsors.
Wow.
And if you go to the tab up top to festivities,
Mhm.
join the festivities,
Oh,
and you
great.
scroll down, it gives you the opportunity to become a sponsor, vendor application. Because I was at my nephew's wedding yesterday, I will extend that date. I'll go back on from becoming a vendor or doing some tabling. If you would like to be a volunteer and parade entry also. So the community sponsorship packet will have that information. It has a letter. And then if you scroll down, it has the different opportunities and what you will get. Along with our sponsorship, we have a VIP reception where we have food, dessert, and some giveaways during our VIP. And it's very lovely because we decorate the room and we really cater to those who have given, because everything is based on sponsorship for our Juneteenth festival in order to put it on. So I am also the money lady. So I am pushing forward for that. So we appreciate any and everything that anyone can do. I used to work for Dan Myers at the Al Siegel Center, and I used to run the Just One campaign. And I love Dan because from $1 to 2 cents, this young man, I'll call him a young man, would sign his signature and actually put a note on it, even if you gave $1. And that has stuck with me. So whatever contribution that anyone can give, whether it's monetary of themselves, in kind, we do appreciate it.
Thank you. And if I could just follow with one, maybe not, short question, but probably longer answer. When did Juneteenth start to be celebrated in Rochester? Not just in a sort of different church communities, but as an event for the Martin Luther King Commission or however it was organized.
And I'm trying to think of the date because I didn't bring my folder, but it was back in, no, the very first one with Mother Them that was held at the Strong Museum of Play was probably, I would say, almost 50 years ago, 40 years ago. Yeah, the very first one. And it was by a gentleman, I could pull it up, but I will get you that information. Because I just read it. I didn't know, and someone sent, actually Simeon Bannister, who is the chair of the Martin Luther King Commission, he sent it to me. Because we were thinking back in 2011, but it actually started at the Strong Museum over 40-something years ago. Yeah, the very first one.
And I think it probably took some breaks.
Yeah, it took a couple of breaks because I know the Rochester City School District had it at one time. Jerome Underwood had it. The commissioner has been doing it for about 9-10 years.
And so what we are looking to do in the future, what we are looking to do in the future is perhaps make this a 2-day event. You know, Buffalo is our neighboring county, and they do a 2-day event. They do it on a Saturday and Sunday. So we are looking to do that here in Rochester, because we do realize that we have a very strong faith-based organizations here in Rochester that would like to perhaps have a nice Juneteenth Sunday gathering, and so that's what we're looking to do in the future, which is why we, you know, and I'm glad Commissioner Hawkins mentioned about sponsorships. Why that is so important for us is because that's how we get to create our events, is through sponsorships, the caring and the giving from the community. And we would love to do a 2-day event, having, you know, something for the youth and community on a Saturday, because we need to fulfill their needs too as well. And then perhaps having something more for the gospel community on Sunday. So, yeah.
Yes, and just to add to that, I'm very excited. I'm probably going to be moving from Rochester, but I will definitely have my hands in always. But I'm excited about that piece and about building relationships and bringing on more sponsors so that we can have that Sunday event that will include that spiritual piece. We know that the spiritual piece has been taken out of many things, and this is what Juneteenth was all about, a major part of it. So I will be advocating strongly, whether I'm still here or whether I'm gone, for that second piece. But as I said, we worked tirelessly on the event. I retired actually 3.5 years ago from the Rochester City School District because I took care of my dad for 10 years and then he passed away. But I asked my Heavenly Father for at least 5 years that I didn't work. But I feel like I'm working 3.5 jobs right now. I tell you, from sun up to sundown. But it has been a great experience. I love to learn. I was telling the gentleman, you know, I didn't come from knowing all the history or, you know, even Rochester, but my heart is open always to learning, because I asked the Lord, why me? And he said, why not you? He said, there are chosen ones, but you are the chosen one for this particular year, for the Juneteenth. So I humble myself. I don't say that with boast, but I humble myself because I'm always open, and I love hard, and I love people. And so, as Josie mentioned, this is what it's all about. It's about us coming together and really being one. And we know that every joint supplieth. So no matter where you're at, every joint supplieth.
I have a question on the chat from Elaine Johnson. Is teen empowerment involved?
Yes, teen empowerment, every year they are involved in the program and in the entertainment piece of it. So they're very much involved, and we're happy. Is that Pam? Doug, okay. Yep, so they are, and we are excited. We have them every year, and they are invited again this year.
Are there events on the actual June 19th date? We have it here at the church. It's a holiday. And I don't know what events, I understand the 15th, but what about the 19th?
So that would probably be on maybe the city website. Us as the Greater Rochester Martin Luther King Commission do not have any events that we are hosting on the 19th. I work for Monroe County, so I am not working that day. And and the city is also not open, but the city is having their block party on the 14th, which is that
Yes.
Friday. That it starts at 4:30 going to 7:30. They are having a block party, which is going to be kicking off our Juneteenth event, which is the 15th. So to answer your question, sir, I'm sure there are things that are going around, but particularly we are not hosting any, nor are we leading any. So that would be probably some of the other organizations around the county and city might do their own thing.
And they also should be, I know a lot of our advertisement and radio news will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. We have some interviews already set up. So there will be a lot of information coming out. And I think one of the things of why that doesn't happen is because people that work, because it's an all day, I know ours is an all day event. So we have it on a Saturday versus that day, but that is a very good, I'm hoping someone is doing something on the actual June 19th that day. And I'm quite sure there is, but I think ours is more because of people having to work the next day. And Saturday, just being able to get the organizations that come out and the entertainments to participate. Saturday is just a better day.
Yes, we're done for today. Thank you so much. Sounds like, oh, there's another chat coming here. Okay. But thank you. It's always humbling to realize how much happens that we're not aware of. And hope to see you on the third Saturday of every June. I guess that's the way it's recognized, even though the actual anniversary is on the 19th of June. So we will, I'm sure that some of us will be there.
And actually, in how many more years? I think this is 15, 16, 17. It will fall on a Saturday in 4 years. I think. Yeah. So we will do it in 4 years. We promise you. We again want to just thank you guys so very much for inviting us here today. We really appreciate it and we don't take it lightly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you and we look forward to partnering with you guys in some type of way.
Thank you. I just have one other question, which is, are the t-shirts for sale or do you have to be on the commission to get one?
So for true honesty, this is last year's t-shirt. So we didn't create our 2024 t-shirt yet, but yes, they will be for sale.
Okay,
We just have to get the designer to make sure that he does. I'm not a graphic designer person, but they want it to be whether it's going to be ironed on or actually digitally put onto the fabric.
I
And
see.
that's a little bit, out of my,
Yeah.
realm of knowing things.
Could I ask a quick question? Are
Absolutely.
kids, when they're taught about Juneteenth, are they taught about why it wound up happening in Texas? And how it related to slavery and the effort to continue slavery? Are they learning that?
Well, Josie can probably answer and I can answer. I think that we have a long way to go as far as the children being taught. I don't even think that's a part of a school curriculum, or I think they may talk about it a little bit, but that is something that the Greater Rochester Martin Luther King Commission is going to try to move forward. We used to do a lot of workshops and different things in the community. So one of the things that we're hoping to do next year, because, you know, we had some people fall off and as they got older. So we did do some recruitment this year. And we're hoping to, because we're on the Speakers Bureau, to go out to different places. We did the Jewish Home a couple times this year, but we really, really, really want to instill Martin Luther King Day and Juneteenth 19. So we're hoping to open that door back up, get more people to join us and to teach and have some things around the community.
I'm a little weak on the history as well, but do I recall properly that General Granger was from this area?
Mm. Not, yeah, that's a good question.
Might be worth looking into.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this, thank you for the pencil, whoever put this.
I just
up
did,
there.
it was on.
Mr. Gordon, yeah.
As I say, I was a little weak on that history. I don't,
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well, it says everyone teach one, everyone reach one, so thank you for that question.
Wow, that's your homework assignment. That's your homework assignment.
Okay.
One of the other great songs too was Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, tied into Juneteenth.
But the question about the youth, it's sad because the youth don't, I don't think they really embrace that part of their history because they're not taught. And then, you know, what the family structure looks like sometimes in the household, sometimes, right? We struggle with that. So when you have a family structure that is not there and is not formed strong, given that piece of education, given that piece of history may not be a priority on that list in that family. So we have to build family first, and then building family, bring in that educational piece, bring in the history. You can't just single out and just do one thing at one time because it has to be a web. And once that web is connected, then you will have a well-rounded child, not just educationally, but spiritually, right? And socially, mentally, physically. So all of those things are very important. So we would love to be out in the community teaching this history, but there's a priority out there, and that is getting that family structure strong.
I'm not quite sure how I'm picking up the feedback. This is,
You gotta do some jumping jacks.
yeah. And I'm the guy in. Okay. We'll get this together. Okay, that's better. Bob had asked about what is taught in the schools about Juneteenth and such. And I'm wondering what's taught in the schools and in the community about the 1964 uprising. I don't know the background of it. Specifically, I came to Rochester a month or two after it, but I know that nationally, communities around the country were voting down proposed civil rights things, and so I knew that it was going to be a difficult summer because there was a lot of need for a backlash. And, but I don't know the specifics in Rochester or how much we're aware of what was going on in the local community as well.
I can say that the community is well aware of what happened in 1964. As we mentioned earlier, out of that, Urban League was born, ABC was born, Baden Street was born, FIGHT was born, FIGHT. So the need was there. People understood that something had to happen. And I wasn't born at that time and didn't live in Rochester at that time, but when that struggle happened, again, to have that not birth something out of it would it have been worthless. Like, why would it have happened? So things did come out of it. And powerful agencies that are still alive and vibrant and working in the community today. I have talked to St. John Fisher students. They have a DEI program. I talked at UR, University of Rochester. They have a wonderful DEI immersion community program, and they are well aware of this 1964 film. They watched it several times because I watched it with them. I am also the president of the 19th Ward Community Association, and in 1964, that was the 3rd ward. So I know that depending on the ages of the youth, there is a strong awareness of what happened in 64, what is happening today, and how we need to move forward.
And we have some very powerful speakers. We were very strategic in selecting the speakers for the June 8th rally. These were people who actually lived the riot, who were a part of building ABC and Baden Street. So they were actual participants. So we're looking real forward. We have Reverend Dr. Douglas Smith also who will be speaking. So these people were actually there. They actually experienced it and they actually contribute and still contributes to the cause.
Thanks to Google,
Yes.
I have the answer.
Okay.
Okay.
And my history is restored correctly.
Okay.
He lived in Joy, New York. If anybody knows where Joy is, it's between Newark and Sodus,
Okay.
about 25 miles east of here. It's a little small crossroads. It's not large, but General Gordon Granger.
Well, thank you for that.
Awesome.
You see,
I
learn
can,
something new every day.
I can check that off my list. I put that on there, but you have given me the answer. So the next time you hear us, we're gonna mention that. Thank you so much.
I'm wondering if any other or what other Presbyterian churches have become involved in Juneteenth. If any, I just don't know.
Do you know?
I believe, I'm not for sure if they're a Presbyterian church. Ashbury?
Yeah, Methodist.
Okay, Methodist.
They're Methodist, yeah.
They do support us. So the answer probably would be no.
Okay,
Yes. Yeah, I don't know at this.
that's,
juncture.
that's interesting to know. So thank you.
And we've.
I think that that's going to be your homework assignment now.
And give us the answer, but just make sure you share the answer with us. Yeah. We're actually trying to get a lot of churches. We do put it out there, but I gotta say, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of response from our churches. And I know my pastor, I challenged him. My church give to Juneteenth every year. But I challenged him because he is on the pastors roundtable. They have this pastors roundtable, to challenge them, to get involved with more community activities. And I actually saw the gentleman who leads them at the wedding yesterday, and I got back in his face again. You know, because I give to their organization a lot when they have stuff, so that, you know, they got to give back. And so we are looking forward to more churches being involved.
Yeah, there's a question on the
We,
screen. The question, is it true that Kodak began hiring people of color after the 1964 riot? The answer is no.
Yes, I was gonna say, you could answer that one because you were telling us
Yeah.
back there about Kodak.
The answer is yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
The Fight organization came out
Mhm.
of the riot was a result of the riot. And Fight led an organization like, can anybody else think of his name? They brought a dynamic organizer to Rochester, Saul Alinsky. And he turned Kodak on their ear in the sense that they stood fast. If you were Black, you couldn't get hired by Kodak, period. Not only Latinos and others could not get in there. And what his tactic was to surreptitiously gather millions of proxy votes. And then he went to the annual meeting, which they used to hold in Flemington, New Jersey. And they were going to pass their usual slate of doing the same thing when he stood up and said, excuse me, I have a couple of million votes that you have to consider here. And that's what finally got people hired at Kodak. But even then, my understanding, it continued to be a struggle for a long time, but that opened the door. It was a slow walk after that, yeah. But Alinsky was brought here by Fight.
But there was just added, I think we know that the Presbytery, which is an organization of all the Presbyterian churches, were supportive of Fight and actually funded Saul Alinsky's coming here partially. So the Presbyterian churches were behind it back in '64.
Awesome. Thank you guys for that awesome information. I'm writing because certainly we want to acknowledge all of those who were involved. You know, there's so many, and that's why we put ourselves out here and we want to connect with many people because we want to let Rochester know, as you said, the Presbyterian churches supported the Fight and they funded, you know, the things that were going on. And that's good to know. That's awesome information. You know, sometimes we don't know all of the people who were actually involved in making this happen. So thank you so much, sir, for that information.
Thank you, guys. We need to get downstairs to the service, but 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Always have to begin again. Thank you.
Thank you.